welcome our lovely Bonnie to the stage for her lovely message today. Thank you all, and may the Fourth be with you.
Thank you, Tammy, and thank you, ladies. You guys did a great job. So, May the 4th be with you is my talk time. And today is Happy Star Wars Day. Happy Star Wars Day, everyone. The talk title, May the 4th be with you, is partially about being present in this moment on this day, right? Today is May the 4th, and so we want to be rooted in this moment. We want to be present in this moment. I want to ask, how many Star Wars fans do I have in the audience today? Wow, a lot of you guys. Can you holler out just some words that are like describe why you love Star Wars? Why are you Space.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Imagination. Wookiees.
Inspiring.
Yoda. Inspiring. Yeah. Princess Leia.
Do not try. Do.
Dude. There is no try. What did you say, Brian? I heard you say something.
A light versus dark.
Yeah.
Light versus dark. That's lovely. Thank you. And so that is a perfect setup for my beginning joke. Do you guys know how the Force is like duct tape?
Wow.
Because it has a light side and a dark side, and it binds the universe together. Yeah. But what is this thing that they call the Force, right? The Force is this Christ itself that we all have. It's this energy that flows throughout everywhere, throughout us. This force is neither good nor bad. It just is, and we get to mold it into what we choose for it to be. And I put on my advertisement for this that I am a Jedi Master, and I do believe that I am a Jedi Master, and I know that I'm not the only one in this congregation who is a Jedi Master, right? You guys all see the force within you. You see yourself allowing that force to flow. So one of my least favorite movies, but such a necessary movie in the plot of the whole plot line of Star Wars is Rogue One. How many people have seen Rogue One? Rogue One,
I love it.
it was sad. It was hard, but it was necessary. It was necessary, and it was really a good outcome. But there's this guy named Chirrut in Rogue One. And Chirrut was blind, and he always was saying, the Force is with me. And there was this one really instrumental part where they were trying to steal the plans for the Death Star. Now, the Death Star, if you haven't seen Star Wars, is a big spaceship that can blow up planets. And we don't want that around. So they were trying to get the plans for the Death Star to stop the Death Star. And they were about to be unable to do it because there was this control panel out in the middle of this area, and they had to push a button or pull a lever on this control panel, and they were pinned down. They were like behind the wall, and there were lasers going everywhere, pew, 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 everywhere, right? And there was no way they were going to be able to accomplish this mission and stop the dark side. But Chirrut started saying to himself, I am with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am with the Force, and the Force is with me. And Chirrut walked over to the panel. Mind you, remember, he can't see where he's going, but he walked over to the panel with all these lasers going around him, and none of the lasers hit him. He had like 500 bad guys shooting at him, but not really 500, but a lot. And he got to the lever and was able to push the button so that they could actually be able to get the plans out for the Death Star to be able to defeat the Death Star.
And what did he say while he was doing it? What did he say while he was doing it?
He said,
I am with the Force, and the Force is with me.
the whole time, I am with the Force, and the Force is with me. And in the end, like, he did get shot, and he said, look for the Force, and you will always find me. And that is the truth. If you look for the Force, you will always find those who have passed beyond the veil, because that's where they are. In the Bible, it says, ask and it is given. In the Bible, it says, all things are possible for those who believe. In the Bible, it says, greater works will you do. That's what Jesus said. He said that we will do greater works than he did. That's pretty amazing.
Time to get busy.
Gordon says time to get busy. I think that's true. We can, so that means if we can do greater works than Jesus, we can shift outcomes for ourselves and for others. That means that we can project our voice even without a microphone so that people, hundreds and hundreds of people can hear us. That means that we can heal. That means that we can walk on water or float. That means we can change water into wine. That means that we have the power of the force within us that with enough faith that we can mold and shape to do our bidding. Now, Jesus walked on water, and Luke raised an X-wing fighter out of the water. And they both did that with faith. If you remember in the Bible, Jesus had one of his disciples come out onto the water with him, and his disciple could walk on water, but then he lost faith, and he sank down.
That was Peter.
That was Peter. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you. So Peter sank down, but Jesus pulled him back up, right? Luke was having a hard time with faith when he was pulling the X-wing fighter out. He thought it was too big, you know? But then this little guy, Yoda, he used the force and he pulled the X-wing fighter out of the water and floated it over, so it just needed to have all the moss and sludge cleaned off of it to be able to work. And we have this force within us. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my son about this talk, and he said he read somewhere that George Lucas was vacationing in Japan and that he heard about Reiki, and that's where he got the idea for the force. Now, I didn't know that, but I thought that was kind of cool, because I am a Reiki master, not just a Jedi master, I'm also a Reiki master, right? And so we can bring the force through our hearts. We can bring it in and then project it out to others, like I've been doing for people as I've been sitting here today, because we're all healers. And we can use this for mundane things like princess parking. I know many of you dearly and fondly remember Ann Williams, who has passed to the other side, but is here with us still. And I used to say I got parking spaces because the angels gave them to me, but Ann Williams said, no, that's princess parking. And I tell you what, if anybody's been anywhere with me, they know it's uncanny how often I get closed parking spots. One time, I was meeting a friend for lunch at Smitty's, and the whole top parking lot was full, so he had to drive to the lower parking lot and walk all the way up to Smitty's. And as he was walking up to the door, he saw somebody pulling out of the first parking space, and he thought to himself, oh, Bonnie's going to be here soon. And I pulled around the corner and pulled right into that first space. And so we can use the force for mundane things. We can use the force like I did when I used to go to the Centers for Spiritual Living. We all went out to lunch. And me and Will Jeffries, I think Cheryl might have been there with us. Me and Will were going to split a plate. But it only came with one side, so we were talking about using the force and how we were going to get the waitress. We were going to use the Jedi mind trick to get the waitress to bring us another side. And when she came and took our order, I said, you could get us another side, yes? Like that. And I put my hand just like, you know, when he said, these are not the drones you're looking for, right? I did that. And she was like, yeah, I think we have some coleslaw back there I can bring for you. Yes, it worked. We all kind of giggled and had a fun time because it worked. I used the Jedi mind trick on this waitress. But you can use it for bigger things too, like healing, like I was mentioning. But also, I've told stories before here, and I'm not going to go into all the details, of traveling using the fifth dimension, right? Like raising up my vibration, knowing that every step that I'm taking on my travels is for the higher good of everyone, and that God is going to be looking out for me every step of the way. And I mean, I went through the baggage check and security check with little to no line. I got a chair massage at the first airport. My connecting gate was like 3 gates down from my original gate. I was watching Shazam, so I was thinking like, this is a Shazam kind of experience, right, when I was on the plane. And then when I got to my final destination, there was airport construction going on, and so we had to ride a bus over to where the baggage claim was, so I didn't even have to walk to baggage claim hardly at all. So it was just like wild how much synchronicity happened on that trip. And I've had other trips where I was traveling with the Force, and it didn't go as smoothly, but I saw that I was there to help others who were going through this difficult time. And I still felt good about it, and I still loved the traveling. And I made mystical, magical outcomes happen for myself every single time, even if it seemed like it was not going to be good, even if it seemed like the dark side was creeping in. Okay, so I have a special guest speaker for us today. Would you guys like to see a guest speaker?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on just a second. I have them right here. This is Grogu. Hi, Grogu. We were hoping that you could give us a demonstration of the Force today. Could you give us a demonstration of the Force? Oh, I think he's feeling a little bit shy, guys. Could you guys tell him, may the Force be with you, and see if that helps him with his shyness?
May
the Force be with you.
Grogu, are you feeling a little shy today? Poor little guy. Can you say, I'm with the Force and the Force is with me?
I'm with the Force, and the Force is with me.
It worked. Did you feel the Force? Grogu, you did a great
I
job.
was snoring in
So proud of you. Are you feeling kind of tired after that demonstration of the Force? You look a little tired. I tell you what, buddy, why don't you just lay down here and take a nap? Here we go. Goodbye, Grogu, on the treetop. Okay. Wow. This little guy, I mean, he seems just really adorable, but you know what power he just demonstrated? The power of dopamine, right? Everybody felt good when we were talking to Grogu, didn't y'all? It's like this, wow, there's just something about cuteness and humor that really gets the good feeling chemicals in our brain downloading into our body. And so Grogu taught me more than just the feel-goodness of cuteness. Grogu also teaches us that being small is not being powerless, that actually size does not matter. Size does not matter. And he did this in one of the Mandalorian series where the Mandalorian was battling this like 5 times the size of a rhinoceros looking thing. It was just intense, right? And he was about to get his hat handed to him, we'll say. And little Grogu goes like this, like he showed you guys the Force, and he made that rhinoceros like float in the air, and it was trying to charge, but it couldn't. This little guy could make all of that happen. Just like sometimes we feel like we're not big enough, like we're too small, we're not significant enough to make a difference in the world. But each and every one of us is. Now, Grogu also taught me about the power of boundaries, the power of yes and no. My very favorite Mandalorian episode, Grogu is given a robot body that he can use to walk around in so that he doesn't have to float in the little crib thing. And the robot comes equipped with 2 different buttons, and one is a yes button and the other is a no button. And so the Mandalorian is running around after him saying, stop, stop. He's like, yes, 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 yes. And then anytime somebody talks about something dangerous to do, oh wait, the Mandalorian is telling him to stop, and he's saying, no, 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 no. And anytime somebody talks about something dangerous to do, yes, yes, yes. And he's just constantly arguing with his guardian, who is the Mandalorian, who it was very funny, but it talks about one of our powers. We have the power to set boundaries for ourselves. We have the power to say yes to things we want and call those things in, because asking it is given, right? If we have that faith and that feeling that it's going to happen, asking it is given and the parking space appears, right? So We also have the power to have no with our boundaries, to say, wow, I have a lot on my plate. Maybe I can't do this additional thing that you're asking me to do. And even if people have a hard time with that, we still can set that boundary. And it's okay for us to set those boundaries. And the final thing that Grogu has taught us is also one of the lessons of the Bible of a little child's shall lead us. Now, I've always thought of that verse as saying that our inner child will lead us. That when we're really in our Christed self, we want to paint and have fun and laugh and explore and be curious and be kind and loving and giving and compassionate. And that's how we let our inner child, which is the light side of the Force, guide us. Now, no Star Wars talk would be complete if we didn't talk about some of the wisdom of Yoda, because Yoda is way cool. Yoda has some quotes I'm going to share with you. The first one is, do or do not, there is no try. Right? Do or do not, there is no try. And that is about faith, right? It's about knowing that we can get it done. It's about knowing that if we choose to do it and are determined, that we don't have any option to fail. We're not trying to do it, we are doing it. We are manifesting it, we are creating it. Another thing that Yoda said was, patience you must have, my young Padawan. And a Padawan is a child that has the genes of the Jedi and that is learning, that is a student. And sometimes we all feel like Padawans, don't we? We have any Padawans here? Who feels like they're a Padawan, like you're still learning the lessons of life, right? Yeah. But we have to have patience with ourselves and with others. We have to know that the more, like one thing I talk to my Reiki students about is that the more you use the Reiki energy, the more it clears your energy channels and the stronger it becomes. And I've been doing Reiki for 15 or 20 years, I don't know, a long time. A minute. It's been a while since I've been doing Reiki. And at first, the energy didn't come through very strongly. But anybody who's received Reiki from me knows that, I think it was Cheryl that said to me one day, do you have a furnace in your hands? Because the energy comes through really powerfully through me. And that doesn't mean I'm all that in a bag of chips, even though I am all that in a bag of chips. I am a Jedi Master. But you are, all of you are. All of you have this power and force within you, and all you have to do is to allow it to flow through so that your energy channel's clear and to increase your faith. Faith is the fuel that gets our Jedi force power to come through us. Yoda also said,
And doing.
And doing.
And doing.
It's important to do also, to put positive action behind the force. Good point, Gordon. Thank you. You are truly a Jedi Master. Yoda also said, fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. And in the Bible it says, fear not, fret not, worry not, 365 times. It's almost like there was some kind of code that we were supposed to fear not, fret not, worry not every single day of the year. Right? Because fear shuts down our energy channels. When we have doubt and fear and worry, it shuts down our energy channels. So fear leads us to the dark side eventually. So that's, like if you have a garden and you're pulling out the weeds, like if you don't pull them out when they're young, it's easier, but if not, then they'll get deep roots and then it's harder to pull them out. And that's what happens with the fear. It turns to anger and then it turns to hatred and then it turns to suffering. So pull out the small weeds of fear when they show up for you. Choose a different thought. My favorite different thought is that God is on my side and is always here for me. God is always here to help me to succeed and to do my best to help my fellow human beings. My very favorite Yoda quote is, luminous beings we are, not this crude matter. Right? And we are. Luminous beings we are, not this crude matter. And that's who we are. We are luminous beings. We are beings who are beings of light that are walking on this planet in a human suit, right? This is just a meat suit that I'm wearing right now. But I am beyond this. And, you know, the great masters knew this. When Obi-Wan Kenobi was fighting Darth Vader, and at the end of, I think, the original Star Wars movie, he sees Luke and he takes his lightsaber and he goes like that, and he does not fight anymore, and he is struck down. But that wasn't his final appearance in the movies. He would tell Luke, use the Force, Luke. You know, he was showing up in the background forever. And I have a master that shows up in my life quite a lot, and it's Jackie Boyd. You guys, I'm sure, remember Jackie Boyd. If I get into fear, she'll say something snarky to me that cracks me up, and then that lets my fear go away. And I think we all have people who we knew who are on this planet who are no longer on this planet, or maybe they're on the planet, they're just on a higher dimension so we can't see them anymore. And they are here guiding us. We have angels guiding us. And angels aren't allowed to help us unless we ask, because we have the gift of free will. So ask your angels for help. Ask loved ones who have passed, your ancestors for help. Ask your guides for help. And they will help you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So the final lesson that I learned from Yoda is that pain and age can't stop you. You know, if you've seen Yoda walk, he's like, but man, if he's in a fight, he's like flipping in the air. You know, really able to beat a lot of the people from the dark side. Now, speaking of the people from the dark side, they are also people who have taught me a lot in the Star Wars movies and shows, because bad guys are really just sad guys, right? And I have a story about that. I have a friend named Connie, and she has a goat farm, and she has lots of goats, and she had one donkey, and his name is Gimli. She still has Gimli. And I tell you, I have had Gimli try to bite me many, many times. If you were walking across the field, you had to look over your shoulder like that the whole time, because Gimli would sneak up on you and bite you in the butt. He was kind of an ornery donkey. But then Connie got Yolanda, a female donkey. And I tell you what, Gimli is the sweetest donkey now. He was just a sad guy. He wasn't a bad guy, and he doesn't want to bite anybody in the butt. Except for Yolanda. Good one. And, you know, we can use our energy. You know, the Force is neutral. I said that at the beginning, right? We get to use the Force in whatever direction we want to go in life. We can use the Force in the direction of good and light and love and compassion and joy and gratitude, or we can use the Force for fear and worry that leads to anger and leads to resentment and eventually suffering. But we get to decide, each of us gets to decide the dark side or the light side every minute of every day. We decide. So choose the light side. Choose the light side because it's happier, it's more fun, it's lighter. Let's see. We can always choose a new path even in the end, as Darth Vader did. Darth Vader was defeated and he was reunited with his son, and right at the end, I think he chose the light side. And we can always choose the light side. I would recommend choosing it earlier than later, because guess what? Then you get to play it more, right? So do you guys want to have an experience with the Force right here today?
Yes.
So we're going to go into meditation next. If you guys can lower the lights for me. And as you sit there, I'd like you to put your hands on your lap with your palms facing up. And I want you to start just focusing on your breathing. The breath is where we bring in the light. So each time you breathe in, I want you to imagine that there's a brilliant white light coming in through the top of your head down to your heart and filling your heart. And each time you breathe out, I want you to see that light going down your arms and into the palms of your hands. And I'm just going to let you guys, for a few seconds, take a few deep breaths with that thought in mind, breathing in the light, breathing it into your heart and down your arms into your hands. Breathing in the force and allowing that force to flow through you down to your hands. And now I want you to put your full attention on the palms of your hands. Just with curiosity. You might feel a buzzing or a tingling. You might feel a magnetism or coolness or heat. And even if you don't feel anything, you can use your faculty of faith to know that there is force right there in your palms. And I want you to face your palms towards each other. And with a very soft gaze, just barely open your eyes and look at the space between your hands. Just notice what you notice. There's no right or wrong. We're just gently looking with a soft gaze and noticing what we notice. And now that you have this energy flowing between you, if somebody was bringing a truck of cement for you, you would have to build some kind of structure for that cement to be poured into. And this is the cement. This is the creative energy that you can use for what you choose to use. So first I want you to recognize that the force of God is all around us and through us in this room. And it's concentrated very thickly between your hands. And next, I want you to feel that force within you and know with your faith that the force of God is flowing through you and as you. And next, I want you to feel how you would feel if you manifested that thing that you wanted to create with this force that you have put between your hands. If you wanted to manifest something in your life, how would that feel? How would you have the faith to do that? What actions would you put forth with that? Just affirming that this is already yours. This has already come to you. And I want you to fill your heart with gratitude. Be so grateful that this is on its way to you. It's already there. It's there just on the other side of the veil, just waiting for you to call it in. And finally, I want you to release this. I want you to release this to Spirit, knowing that God is in charge. God is going to bring to you whatever is needed for you to have all the goodness in your life, all the light side in your life. And I'll ask you to take one more deep cleansing breath. And at the end of the out breath, you can open your eyes. See, I told you y'all were Reiki masters. I mean, Jedi masters. You are. You're masters of this world. You're masters of the force. So allow the force to be with you and allow yourself to be with the force. And go out there and let the light side grow. Namaste.
Thank you, Bonnie. It's always so much fun.